Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at something that you've been requesting for a long time with Touch OSC, and that is sending and receiving OSC signals with Ableton Live. So in order to send and receive OSC messages from Touch OSC or any other OSC sending device with Ableton Live, you need to have a patch, a Max for Live patch. You're also going to need the connection kit. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So one way you can receive OSC messages with Ableton is the connection kit. So go ahead and download this, and I'll show you some of the ways that you can use this with Touch OSC. Now at this point with my setup, I already have my iPad, my device set up and connected with my desktop. So make sure your ports are connected on your iPad and everything is set up. If you need more information about that, check out my last video about Ableton Live, which shows you how to connect your iPad or tablet device with Touch OSC to Ableton Live. But once you have that set up, then we'll jump in right here with OSC. So this is Ableton Live, and what we're going to do is try out one of the OSC connection kit templates. So let's take this, which is OSC, Touch OSC. So this comes from the connection kit, and all you have to do is drop this into your track, and you'll see this is going to have a spot for you to learn the address and sync it up with an object in Ableton. So first things first, let's jump into Touch OSC. So I'm working in the desktop version right now, so we can put this together. So first things, let's make a fader. And what we're going to do is add this OSC message here. So right now, the name of the OSC message is the name of the object, which is fader 5. So we can leave that, or if we want to make it our own custom message, we can just take name, delete that, and here let's go /track name, and now we have it set. And of course the object name is still fader 5 in our template. So here in Ableton Live, what we have to do with the OSC kit is change our port to listen for our device. Now I know that on my desktop, I've got an open port that is connected with my iPad 53000. But you're going to need to put in whatever is working with your system. So now if we hit learn and we move our fader up, you'll see that that yellow light went up, and you'll see that it's figured out the OSC address. So now let's go ahead and map this to this fader. And you can see it's set with track volume. So you can turn off, learn, and now I can very easily move up my fader. Now, if you wanted to change how high this fader can control, you can see I'm going above 0. You could change this, all I'm doing is clicking here and dragging down with my mouse. So if I was to set it around 50%, even if I'm at the top level on my fader, it's only putting me about 50% on this track on whatever parameter we have. Additionally, if we play around with the curve, let's say we make this 70 here, as I'm turning up the fader, you can see it really whipped up there. And so it increases or decreases, if we were to put it all the way down, the curve at which we're turning up or down, whatever the parameter is. And then you can double click to reset it. One thing to note is once this is set, I'm unable to click and drag and send. So with the Touch OSC template from the connection kit, you can send information from your tablet. Let's say you want to use this as a mixer, or you want to use it as a recording remote. Definitely possible to do that. You can also use the OSC send. So what that's going to do is take information, take a message from your computer and send that as an OSC message to your device, or in this sense, Touch OSC. Now this is just going to be reading information from Ableton. But let's go ahead and add another track. So let's right click, add another audio track, and let's add OSC send. This is also coming from the. So now we're going to send a message from Ableton Live. So if we were to take our OSC send here, we're going to need to put in our host, which I know right now it's 192.168.0.136, but that is specific to my device. So you'll need to figure out what yours is. And then of course, set the port to whatever your listen port is on your device. Now let's go back into TouchOSC and add another fader. So let's add a fader here, make this one blue. And we're gonna change the OSC name of this one as well. Let's change this to drums. Let's say we're going to receive information. So here, the OSC address that we're sending to is going to be /drums. And let's map the parameter. So we select map, and then we're going to select this. And you can see that if we turn up and down on our iPad, nothing's going on. But if we move it from Ableton, it will send that information. And the max and curve will work the same. So this is just showing you kind of the surface level ways to use these patches. You can obviously go in and edit them to give yourself more control, or combine them so that you can send and read and do all sorts of different things with your TouchOSC template. What we're going to look at is knowing what your track name is from Ableton Live, and this is going to send it via OSC message. So let's go into TouchOSC. Let's go ahead and add a label. And then let's add another label. Make this one blue. And so these labels are going to receive information from Ableton. So let's give them an OSC message. OSC, and I want to name this as, this is just the OSC, so we're not actually naming the label, we're just naming what the message is going to be called. So we're going to call this guitar. And then this blue one, we're going to add one, add an OSC message, remove this, and we're going to set it up as drums. So now the OSC message that's being sent, it's going to send to guitar or drums. So now in Ableton, what we're going to need is a patch to send this information to TouchOSC. But don't worry, I've already put one together for you. So we're going to drop in something called track name TouchOSC. And this is a patch that I developed. And right here, you can see it has something to set the port. So I know what mine is. And this is going to be different for everybody. So you'll have to set this to whatever your IP address is for your device, your iPad device or tablet, and then the receive port for OSC. And the way this works, let's just go ahead and open this up. So we have this sitting on track 1. And let's just open it up from presentation mode. What we're going to do is this is receiving this information here that we just entered in, the IP address and the port, and it's going to send that. So this is the location where the information is going to be sent. This here is pulling the name of the track. You can see that track 1, and it's going to send it to this spot here. This object is actually the name of your OSC message. And remember, we had set up on our iPad device, we had the red one, which was guitar, and the blue one, which is drums. So right now, this is saved as drums as the OSC message. And so the track name will send to this, which is going to port from tname to tname, and then go to our final address. And that's just as simple as how this thing works. So let's just try it out here. So let's close this, and we have everything set up. Here on our blue label, we see it says track 1. Right click in here, let's change the name to drums, and you can see that's changed on the label. And every time we change it, it'll automatically update. So let's take this and drop it over. And now let's open it up. And we need to change the location for the OSC message. So right now it's drums. Let's double click in here and change that to guitar. And then you're good to go. So then you can close this. And no, don't save over, because if you save over, you're going to save it as the same one as before. So we want to save as, and you want to save the edited one. So saving a new one. So I'll just call this 4. You could call it whatever you want. If you're setting up a template that you're always going to be using, and you could set it up that the patch name is the name of the track that you're going to be sending it to. So you could just save it as drums, or you could save it as guitar patch, and you just drop that into your Ableton track, and you know what the OSC message is going to be because that's the name of the patch. It's a really easy way to organize it. So I'll save this as 4 for right now, and then we can go ahead and close this. And let's reset this. And this is my information. So now on our iPad, we can see it has 2 audio. So let's right click, rename, and this is guitars. Or we could change it again. And all of that will work. Now, when working with a Max for Live patch, there are usually a lot of different ways you can solve an issue. So I'm sure there are other ways to accomplish the same type of track name. So if you have a better idea, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. But I will go ahead and make the code for this so that you can copy and paste it in, available, and you can download the patch from my website. So just head to timcorpus.net or the link below and download that patch. So I know this has been a question for folks for a long time, so I hope this really helps you out and it makes it so you can receive information from Ableton Live. If you have more questions about this or better ideas, go ahead and throw those in the comments below. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel because we have lots more to look at, and a happy new year to you all. I'll see you all in 2023.